Hey racers, John Racer3 today back for another Hot Wheels tournament. And today, you guys know the title. This is the 2025 Supercars 10 tournament. About every year or so, after I go to the Matchbox Convention every July, I bring home a ton of unopened supercars. And this year, I've got 16 supercars from this convention that we're gonna unbox and find out which one is the fastest on the 2-lane John Racer3 Super Speedway. We've got the fat track turn here for turn 1, which I think makes the best racing, and we've got all 16 cars here still in their package, ready to be unboxed to see which one is the fastest. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the cars and get right into the racing. All right, we've got all the packaging now taken off of these beautiful cars, and they are lined up in their lanes ready to go. So let's go ahead and start off with our first matchup of the day. We have a green Porsche 918 from Matchbox versus a blue Lotus Evora. Both of these castings look absolutely incredible with those colors looking really good. Next up, we got a BMW M2 from Matchbox going up against a Mustang Dark Horse from Hot Wheels. I cannot believe I never got that Mustang Dark Horse diecast. Very unfortunate, but now we've got one. We're gonna see how fast it is on the track. Third matchup is going to be a Matchbox moving parts battle with a Porsche 718 Spider on the bottom lane and a Lamborghini Centenario on that top lane. Both of these cars just look absolutely stunning. Super excited to get those cars on the track. But then for our fourth matchup, we have a McLaren F1 versus a Saleen S7. Very curious to see how fast these cars are on the track. Now, starting at the back half of the grid, we've got a hypercar battle with the Koenigsegg Gamera going up against the Bugatti Veyron. White versus black, yin and yang. Super excited to see that battle. We got a Hot Wheels Red Edition Lamborghini Storado going up against the Porsche 935. Looking very nice. We have a Mercedes-Benz SL63 on the top lane versus a McLaren 720S on the bottom lane. And then our final matchup is a Corvette matchup, both from Matchbox with the Corvette ZR1 on the outside and the Corvette C8 on the inside. And as you can see, this video is sponsored by The Garage. More on them later, but here's how the tournament is going to work. It's going to be the first car to 2 consecutive wins on this downhill track will be moving on to the next round. So the car has to win on the outside and the inside lane consecutively in order to move on to the next round. And we're bound to have some really close and tight battles through all of these cars in the field. So if they win, they'll move on to the next round, all the way up into the finale matchup. Feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, and enough yapping for me. It's time to get these cars on the track and start the first round of Hot Wheels Supercars 10. Actually, there's one more thing I need to do before we get into racing these 16 cars. I got this Porsche 911 Rally Super Treasure Hunt from the convention, and I figured what better way to open it on this channel rather than to kick off Supercars 10. So let's go ahead, open this guy, and then get to racing. All right, the Porsche's been cracked loose. Let's go ahead and start this thing. All right, up first, we got that Porsche 918 on the inside versus the Lotus Evora on the outside. 2 Matchbox. Let's see which one's the fastest as we go into turn 1. Look at that, the Lotus Evora is gonna have the lead right after the downhill, beating out the 918, which does not seem to have the speed. They switched lanes, the Lotus got it done on the outside. Now, can he get it done on the inside? Let's see if he beats the Porsche to turn 1. He's gonna have to take this win. Look at that, the Porsche holds his own, but the Lotus is actually going to shove him up into the wall a little bit, but that is going to be enough for the Lotus to get his first 2 victories of the tournament and move on to the next round. That last matchup was both Matchbox, but now we've got a Hot Wheels versus Matchbox battle. We got the M2 Matchbox on the inside and a Ford Mustang Dark Horse Hot Wheels on the outside. Let's see who takes race 1. Oh, look at the speed from the Mustang. He's gonna go all the way and finish the end of the track. The M2 does not have the speed to catch him. They're gonna switch lanes as the Mustang leads with 1 win. That Mustang had a really good downhill on the outside. Now, can he do the same thing on the inside? There's always a chance he can wreck, and the M2 comes back. Let's see what happens. Look at that, the Mustang easily into turn 1 first, and he takes the win, racing all the way across the table. The M2 is no slouch though. Getting into turn 2 from the super speedway is a pretty good run, but unfortunately he just did not have the speed to match the Hot Wheels Ford Mustang Dark Horse, who moves on to the next round. Next up, we have our Matchbox moving parts battle with the Porsche 718 moving parts on the inside and that Lamborghini Centenario looking beautiful on the outside. Let's see which one of these moving parts castings is the fastest on the downhill. Let's see who takes the first race. Oh, it's going to be the 718, but the 718 spins, allowing the Lamborghini to race to the lead He really slows down there, rubbing up against the walls of the fat track, but the Porsche spins out after having the lead into turn 1. We go to race 2. Now that they've switched lanes, let's see what this Centenario can do. Can he get his second win from the inside? The Porsche beats him to turn 1, but he's gonna spin around again, and the Lamborghini's gonna rub against the wall, not able to make the pass. These moving parts must not be very fast on the fat track, but the 718 gets his first win as we go to race 3. All the Porsche's gotta do is keep it straight coming out of turn 1. Let's see if he can do it. One more win, he moves on. Oh, and it's a horrible wreck. He gets into the nose of the Centenario and flips over going into turn 1. The Lamborghini is gonna take it now with the win advantage going to race 4. And that Porsche, man, that was quite the wipeout. All right, race 5, Centenario has the win advantage. One more win for the Lamborghini. He moves on to the next round. Let's see what the Porsche can do. Porsche manages to keep it straight this time and shows he's got the speed, runs all the way to turn 2, beating the Centenario in distance. We go to race 6. All right, now the Porsche has the win advantage. Can he keep it straight coming out of turn 1? It's gonna be close, but the Lamborghini gets loose behind the Porsche. They both spin around, and it's the 718 getting his first win and moves on to the next round in a John Racer 3 video. Unfortunately for the Centenario, his luck seems to not be with him today as he doesn't even make it past the first round. The moving parts Porsche moves on. All right, this next matchup should be a bit faster. We got a Saleen S7 Hot Wheels versus a McLaren F1 Hot Wheels. Both of these old cars are really fast on the track in real life. Let's see which one's the fastest in Hot Wheels form. Look at that neck and neck into turn 1, and it's gonna be the Saleen S7 with a beautiful run, hugging the inside of turn 2, a really good run for that car. The F1 has a lot of speed, but it's gonna be the Saleen taking the first race, and man, that was even into turn 1. It was the Saleen who got the advantage of the F1 last race, but he had the inside and shoved the McLaren out of the way. Now McLaren's on the inside. What can the McLaren do about it? Doesn't look like much. Look at that. They remain side by side after turn 1. That is crazy. But it's the Saleen S7 still managing to find a way around the McLaren F1. That is crazy. The F1, I'm sure, is much faster than a lot of these cars here waiting to race, but unfortunately, it was tasked to go up against the Saleen S7, and with flames like that, you already knew this thing had the horsepower to take it home. All right, your top 4 cars have moved on to the next round already. It's the Lotus, the Ford, the Porsche, and the Saleen. 2 Hot Wheels and 2 Matchbox so far. Moving on to the next round, but now we've got our second half of the grid, and to kick us off, we got a hypercar battle in the Koenigsegg Gemera on the outside, and the Fast and Furious Bugatti Veyron on the inside. A beautiful matchup. Let's see who takes it. Let's see if that Veyron has any speed. It's a Hot Wheels versus Matchbox battle. What can the Gemera do as we go into lap 1? Oh, look at that. It's going to be a close matchup, but it's not going to be a fast one. It's going to be the Bugatti managing to hold his car length lead over the Koenigsegg. And the Koenigsegg can't really do much about it. They were very even, though, going into turn 1. So with the Bugatti advantage, now he's starting on the outside. Let's see what happens race 2. The Bugatti got that win from the inside, but now he's on the outside. Can the Koenigsegg fight back and not get wrecked by the Bugatti? Let's see what happens lap 2. Oh, look at that. The Koenigsegg has more speed. The Bugatti looks to the back bumper, but he's not going to get there. Good defense by the Gemera as he gets his win back as they go to a race 3. That Koenigsegg is showing his speed, but can he win from the outside to move on to the next round? Will the Bugatti retaliate into turn 1? The Koenigsegg is going to spin in front of the Bugatti, absolutely shutting him down. That is unfortunate for Team Hot Wheels, but great for Team Matchbox as the Koenigsegg Gemera races on to the next round. Our next matchup is an all Hot Wheels matchup. We got the Porsche 935 on the inside and the Lamborghini Huracan Storado on the outside. I have no idea who's going to take this. Both of these cars looking to get their first win. Let's see who takes it. Oh, it looks like the Lamborghini Storado has the speed, but look at the Porsche. Sneaks by on the inside, but the Lamborghini's gonna say, no, no, no. You're not getting past me without a fight. And that Lamborghini clearly has a ton of speed. He beats the Porsche and gets his first win. Lamborghini now on the inside, attempting to sweep this round of the tournament. Can he beat the Porsche in 2 races? Let's find out. Look at that, the Porsche comes down the track after the downhill to try and beat the Lamborghini, but he's just not gonna get there. It's gonna be the Lamborghini Huracan Storado taking this win and beating out the Hot Wheels Porsche as we go on to the next round. For this next matchup, we have two Matchbox convertibles. We have the Mercedes SL63 on the outside going up against the McLaren 720S convertible on the inside. We know how fast that 720S is. We'll see if this recolor is just as fast or if the Mercedes can bring it back. Look at that, it's gonna be really close into turn one. Both cars don't get a very good run out of the turn, but it is going to be the McLaren who comes out on top, barely beating out the Mercedes as we go to a race two. All right, the SL63 needs to get his win from the inside if he wants to fight back against that McLaren. Otherwise, McLaren's going to sweep and move on to the next round. He's got the speed on the downhill. He has a really good run around turn one this time, hugs the inside of turn two, and that is how it's done. The McLaren sweeps, beating out the Mercedes easily around the turns and moves on to the next round. For our final match for the first round, we've got a Corvette duel, a Matchbox Corvette duel. In fact, we got the Corvette C8 on the inside and the Corvette ZR1 on the outside. Old versus new. Who's gonna take the first race? Which Corvette is gonna come out on top for turn one? It's going to be the C8. He manages to keep it straight, but the ZR1 doesn't lose that much speed behind him. This might be a close one if the ZR1 can beat the C8 to turn one for this next lap, but right now it's looking like that lime green Corvette's got his first win. The Corvettes switch lanes. Can the ZR1 bring back some speed to move on? It doesn't. Oh, look at that. It's going to be the C8 spinning around. Can the ZR1 catch up? It doesn't look like it. He drags the brakes on the straight. That is not going to get him the position he needs. It's going to be the Corvette C8 taking his win and moving on to the next round despite spinning before turn one. Have not seen that before, but it's going to be the Corvette C8 moving on to the next round. All right, here are all of the cars that have moved on to the next round. Our newest additions are the Koenigsegg Camaro, Lamborghini Huracan Storado, McLaren 720S, and that Corvette C8. So before we get into our second round, I need to talk about our sponsor, The Garage. If you guys don't know by now, The Garage is my own personalized Hot Wheels marketplace where I sell Hot Wheels and Hot Wheels bundles for sale for really cheap prices for my subscribers. I've been doing this now for a while with all of my case unboxings, and I'm starting to make some things like these 3D printed track car mounts that I'm thinking about selling on the marketplace. So if this is something that interests you, please leave a comment down below. And if you also want to figure out how you can list some cars on my marketplace, there is an application to sell on The Garage if that is something you're interested in. And I'm looking to grow my community here and get more people on the site. So if that is something that interests you, you want to buy some cheap Hot Wheels and definitely support me and what I do, you can use the link in my bio and get $5 off your first purchase, which is a pretty good deal with all of the Hot Wheels I currently have listed up there. So shout out The Garage. Definitely one of my coolest projects I've been doing in a while, but we've got all of these cars now ready and lined up for the second round. You guys see these matchups. You guys know what's going down. Let's go ahead and start with our second round. All right, for our first matchup of the second round, we got the Lotus Evora on the inside and the Ford Mustang Dark Horse on the outside. Matchbox versus Hot Wheels. Let's see who takes race one. It looks like the Mustang's going to have a huge gap to the Lotus as he goes into turn one, and he's going to hold his lead above the Lotus all the way through the lap. The Mustang takes the first win. We go into a race two, and that Mustang from Hot Wheels is looking unbeatable. Can the Lotus bring it back somehow, some way from the outside? Let's find out. Look at that, a really fast run for the Mustang. Look at that thing go. No cars have shown the speed that this thing has so far in this tournament, and he swerved really aggressively at the start of the fat track too. The Lotus did not stand a chance. The Mustang moves on to the next round with ease. All right, for our next matchup, we have the Moving Parts Porsche on the inside and the Celine S7 on the outside. We know how fast that Celine is, and we know how fast the Porsche is. Let's see what happens going into turn one. Looks like the Celine is gonna get a little bit loose, but managed to keep his gap over the Porsche as we go to a race two. The Celine just looks so fast. All right, let's see what that Matchbox can do from the outside. Can he stick it to the Celine, or can the Celine sweep from that inside lane? The Celine moves to the outside to swerve in front of the Porsche, skids on the track. He knows he's won. The Porsche will not be moving on anymore, and it's the Hot Wheels Celine S7 moving on to the semifinals, going up against that Mustang. That'll be a good matchup. Our next matchup features some blacked out supercars with the Koenigsegg Gamera on the inside and the Lamborghini Huracan Storado on the outside. Again, Matchbox versus Hot Wheels. Who's going to take it going into turn one? Really close. It's going to be the Koenigsegg getting into the back of the Lamborghini, spinning him around, but at the end of the day, it does not matter. The Storado has the speed, and he's going to get his first win over that Matchbox Koenigsegg. All right, let's see if the Lamborghini Huracan Storado can sweep. He's on the inside. Can the Matchbox Koenigsegg do anything about it? Look at that, a really close matchup between all of these cars. The Koenigsegg is going to be one of the only Matchbox to make it around turn two on a racing lap, but still, at the end of the day, he does not have the speed that this Hot Wheels Lamborghini Huracan Storado has, as the Koenigsegg is going to get eliminated, and now Hot Wheels have won the last three matchups going into the semifinals. We got one more matchup to go. It is an all Matchbox model. I cannot speak. This is an all Matchbox matchup, but who is going to win out of these Hot Wheels? Only time will tell. Rip Koenigsegg. All right, let's see who's going to go up against the Lamborghini. We got the McLaren on the inside, the Corvette on the outside, two super fast Matchbox. Who's going to take it? And it looks like it's going to be the McLaren is going to take the first win, making it around turn two. It's a pretty good run. Can the Corvette retaliate? The Corvette's going to try and retaliate from the inside. This is the best chance he's got. What's going to happen? The McLaren's going to get a really good line on that turn, cut the inside, and finish off in front of the lime green Corvette C8. It's the Matchbox McLaren 720S moving on to the semifinals, and boy, it's getting close. Here is your semifinals matchups for Supercars 10. Our first matchup features two Hot Wheels that have shown they have a ton of speed. The Ford Dark Horse Mustang versus the Celine S7. The Celine is going to be starting on the outside for that matchup, and the winner of that will go to race in the finals. And then our second semifinals matchup, we have the Lamborghini Huracan Storado on the inside going up against the only Matchbox left in this tournament, McLaren 720S Spider on that outside, and the winner of that will go to face the winner of this matchup. We'll also do a third place matchup of these losers to see who finishes on the bottom step of the podium, but we're getting really close. Let's see which one of these cars is going to take home the trophy. It is Ford versus Celine, modern Hot Wheels versus retro Hot Wheels. Let's see who takes it going into turn one. It's going to be close. Oh, look at that. It's going to be the Celine S7 absolutely running away with it. Something happened with the Mustang. He did not have the line he wanted going into turn one, and he's going to lose out on the first race. The Celine S7 takes it. Now is not the time for this Ford Mustang Dark Horse to fumble. He's been so fast so far in this tournament, but the Celine S7 has shown he has just so much speed around the turn. We're going to race two. If the Celine takes it, he moves on to the finals. The Celine from the inside, the Ford gives him a shove. He's gonna get close, but he's not gonna get close enough. The Ford, with his two-wheeled stunt, is gonna come up short of moving on to the finals and winning his tournament. It's the Celine S7 who takes the win, and he's gonna be the first car moving on to the finals. But hey, some bonus points for the Ford Mustang, though. He didn't flip over. He just sort of just hung out on his side. Time to see who's going up against the Celine in the finals. We got the Lamborghini Hot Wheels on the inside and the McLaren Matchbox on the outside. Let's see who makes it to turn one first. This can be a really close one. Oh, look at that. The Lamborghini's going to have a car length over the McLaren into turn one as he takes the first race. That is not the speed we wanted from the McLaren in order to move on to the finals, but it looks like the Lamborghini Huracan Storado, now starting on the outside, has a chance to sweep all the way to the final. If I'm being honest, I did not expect the speed from this Lamborghini Huracan Storado, and I was expecting the 720S to be faster. What can the 720S do on the inside? Can he retaliate? The Lamborghini with the car length. Oh, look at that. The McLaren attempts to retaliate, gets to the rear of the Lamborghini, tries to spin him out, but spins himself out on his own. That is unfortunate and a really good move for the Lamborghini to move on to the finals. He'll be racing the Celine S7 for the Supercars 10 championship. But first, let's go ahead and find out a third place battle. That McLaren has some speed, and so does the Ford. Let's see who sits on the bottom of the podium. The McLaren almost got that win in a desperate attempt to stay in the tournament, but unfortunately, there are no more Matchbox competing for the title. Let's see if the McLaren can stand on the third place spot of the podium. Look at that, he is gonna get past the Mustang, who gets loose coming out of turn 1, and it's gonna be the McLaren getting his first win against a Hot Wheels car as he moves on to the second round. Not to mention the McLaren got his win from the outside. Now he's on the inside of the Mustang. Can the Mustang come back? He's been on a downward spiral ever since he lost to the Celine, but not anymore. He's got a ton of speed, and that was a fantastic lap for the Mustang as he beats the McLaren as we go to a race 3. The Mustang now on the inside has an attempt to shut out the 720S. Let's see what he can do. 720S has the lead. The Mustang looks to the outside. Can he get by him? Doesn't look like the McLaren's gonna throw the block, and he's gonna have the advantage going to race 4. It looks like in this matchup, specifically the outside lane seems to be prevailing. The McLaren has the advantage on the inside. Can he beat the Mustang? The Mustang has the car length advantage coming out of turn 1. The McLaren tries to come back around the turn, but he's not going to be able to do it. The Mustang has it. Mustang now with the advantage on the inside. Can he make it stick to stand on the bottom of the podium? Oh, it looks like he is going to. The McLaren just did not have the run he needed on the outside, and it's going to be the Ford Mustang Dark Horse from Hot Wheels finishing third in this championship. Really unfortunate for Matchbox. They were not able to get this far up into the tournament because it looks like the rest of the top 8 are all Matchbox except for that Mustang that raced all the way up to third. But now, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the Celine S7 versus the Lamborghini Huracan Storado. First car to 2 consecutive wins will be the victor. Not winner and victor. I tried to say winner. The victor of this championship will happen next. The Celine S7 has the inside advantage going into turn 1. What can the Lamborghini Huracan Storado do? The finale matchup starts now. Oh, look at that. The Lamborghini's going to manage to get around the Celine S7 from the outside. He's going to roll all the way back to turn 1. A really fast run from that Lamborghini. What can the Celine do? Can he fight back in race 2? This Lamborghini has just been unbeatable. I did not expect the speed because my other Storado castings just have not been that fast on the track, but now he is in perfect position to win with the win advantage and starting on the inside. The Celine S7 needs to have a really good run on the outside if he wants to bring it back in this finale matchup. Who's going to take race 2? The Celine S7 has it, but it's going to be the Lamborghini getting around him after a squabble after turn 1. The Celine S7 fumbles the bag hard, and it's going to be the Lamborghini from Hot Wheels winning Supercars 10. Well, a pretty anticlimactic end, but the fastest car did end up winning. I don't think that Lamborghini lost a single race this whole tournament. He raced all the way up to the lead and proved he is the fastest car out of the bunch, and he is now the winner of Supercars 10, a tournament that I've been doing for years and years and years. So now he adds his name to the legacy of winners of this tournament. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a really nice tournament, and I hope you guys enjoyed the track as well. This fat track always breeds some really good racing, and I'm super excited to make some more videos with it in the future. But that is going to be doing it for this Supercars matchup. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the garage. Thank you for the garage for sponsoring this video, even though I'm thanking myself, you know, no big deal. And thank you guys all for watching. Comment down below which one of these cars was your favorite, who you were cheering for, and who I should race in my next Supercars tournament that will be coming next summer, or maybe a little bit before then. I don't know. I'm still figuring out what I want to make on the channel here soon. But as far as supercar tournaments go, the Lamborghini is going to be your reigning champion. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.